Greetings, everyone. Welcome to an off-hour draft for me, for usual, although it's getting a little bit more normal, I suppose. We are in jury mode still. The court today let us know that we are still on track for finishing when expected, which unfortunately is still mid-July. So I should be doing this through mid-July. I may switch up the schedule at some point, but I'm also trying to create a new normal for a little while and trying to get used to this 8 p.m. slot. It is no joke, though. I've had a full day. I got my oil changed. I took Rocket in to get washed. He got a grooming appointment with his human sister. Clara works at a grooming center and takes in Rocket sometimes. And and I sat through another long day of jury duty, and I mailed out 15 card orders or something like that. So it's been a full day already, and here we are, ready to actually relax a little bit and have some fun with Magic. We're going to play some Dominaria draft per chat. Dominaria, I still love it. I do. But it's I love it less in the perspective of modern Limited. I think Limited has gotten even better since Dominaria as a whole. There's plenty of great sets before and after Dominaria, but I just do believe that that Dominaria can be improved upon. I think what's important is they learned a lot of great lessons from Dominaria. I think one of the reasons we love this set so much nostalgically is it was really the first set at a standard level, a standard legal set to push rare feeling power at uncommon, specifically in the legends in this set. And then there's some non-legends that are up there too, but you just got that feeling of, wow, I left with bombs. Even though I don't have any rare symbols on my cards, I feel like I left this draft with bombs. And I think that was probably the biggest lesson from this set that Wizards has taken forward, and we continue to feel like Uncommon contains a lot of power set to set, and that helps everybody feel like they left the draft typically with something that they're like, yes, this is a bomb. This is something that can really take over a game. And it's nice for everybody to feel like they got something like that in each of their decks. So there's that lesson that was well learned. And then the other lesson well learned from Dominaria is one drum I keep beating, which is the using all your mana every turn meaningfully throughout the game, deep into a game. And it doesn't always work out. I should say, relative to the past, way more often you find yourself using, and finding something to do with absurd amounts of mana late into a limited game. And I think that feeling of we are still playing Magic here on turn 15 is so much better feeling than we're draw going on turn 15 and we're going to see who top decks, right? So I really am starting to feel like, while Dominaria is nostalgic for me, and I love it a lot, it's really kind of a Model T type set where it's like, it's about the lessons it taught that were then used in the process going forward, more so than it being still a current example of what you're aiming for. What you should be aiming for on your retail front is checking out my sponsor, cardkingdom.com. If you want to dig back in time and find some Dominaria cards for your tabletop Magic, maybe you're building a cube, you want to throw some of them sweet uncommon legends in there, well, you can do that via my sponsor. And if you go there via my affiliate links in the panels down below, in the YouTube notes, in the chat links, they know you got there from here, helps keep me on the air. They stay super happy with me, and they have been happy with me because I know people are hearing this message, and that's awesome. I really appreciate that many of you really do keep that in mind when you're shopping for cardboard, and really support my show when you do so. So thanks a lot, and thanks a lot, Card Kingdom. Yeah, get those fetch lands while they're cheap. Which ones? But yes, it's worth noting that Whenever Wizards does some sort of reprinting of really popular Eternal format dual lands, whether they're shock or fetch or whatever, they tend to depress the prices for a little bit, and then as the set goes away, they go back up again. So the demand for them just seems to be exceeded by the availability because of the growing popularity of the game. So, all right. Anyway, let's get going on the draft itself. Hey, this entry is going to take us below 20,000 gems on this account for the first time in a long time, but we're at nearly 150K in gold, so that's kind of the fun of it. We're going to keep doing that and hop to the draft mode here. I'm also starting to think that Dominaria was the single best bot draft format ever, and I kind of wish they'd bring Dominaria bot draft back, because in Dominaria bot draft, the bots respected red-white aggro cards, and it left all the sweet Sultai cards for everybody else, and then all the games were even extra Dominaria in the sense of a lot of dirtily awesomeness. But you can, we could even try, forcing aggro. You can, if you pick up Runamucks in the format, you can just do the near mono red aggro or red white aggro. But really, you just want to, like, the idea would be to be taking cards that basically nobody else at the table wants. And yeah, we could make it. I could just make this or you could make the what I think they kind of did. Was I still there, or was it after I left? I don't think I was. I don't think it was something I worked on, but the legendary cube on Magic Online tried to be kind of the, what if there was no sweepers, ramp, and like no aggro in a cube, and everybody's just timmying out. And it was really, I found it to be fun, but not a lot of legs. Like, it was, so maybe I should be happy with the Dominar we have rather than wish for something that could make it worse. But let's see what is available here. Eviscerate always leaps out as a fine first pick in the format. Elfhame Druid and Llanowar Elves are appealing looking ramp. I like Elfhame Druid a little better, even though it doesn't come down on turn one. It does, the double mana towards kickers really is real. Yeah, this is not, the whole cycle is not quite great for limited, but especially this one that even wants more black. But I'd rather just take the Eviscerate to start rather than taking the Druid. This goes in a lot of decks that I like, including if you are pressed into aggro, you can kind of, there is some black-white knight kind of aggro you can do. But there's no, like, Seismic Shift isn't playable and Fervent Strike is not the red we're looking for. So there's nothing here, no tools here to even lean aggro. So we'll just take the good removal spell and not force anything silly. Then we're left with the Sphinx. I think maybe if I had 5 of these, that would be too many, but 3 easily. I love this card. It measures up pretty well in the format. Sometimes you square off against the 7 mana Windrake that becomes a 4/4, and that's unfortunate. But largely it meets or wins the air outside of the rare slot. But there are some ways, even at common, that it can be outclassed. But generally, also getting that scry on ETB is just really, really nice. And I like it better than Journey Mage, which is, it's pretty tempo-y. I've been blown out by these. If you can chain them together, there's something else. But if you're doing the long control-y style of blue in the format, it can be not quite as impactful as you'd like. But we could still take it here, given what's available. We could also take a Llanowar Elves and leave black-green Saps as a possibility. I don't love the Weight of Memory. I'd almost rather have a Dark Bargain matching this color. I think Dark Bargain is a more important card draw spell for the format than Weight of Memory because of Divination existing for the blue. So sticking with blue-black or pivoting back to some green. Really, again, this just isn't a format where I'm super impressed by Llanowar Elves. It's not a great top deck, and generally I can survive the ramp that somebody uses to produce it, to get a hot start off with it early. I'm just going to keep taking the black cards here. Fire Intervention is the first notable red card along with Run Amok. Like these are the cards you can start picking up and making a real deck out of. But obviously it's a commitment. I mean, this does nothing on defense, as we know from its recent appearances in Kaldheim. But if you are turning sideways to win, you can really pick these up late. Most people aren't doing this kind of thing. Really what I'd rather do is what I like doing, which is the long game value type decks, but you'd really have to consider your early game and how you're not going to lose to the occasional run amok style overwhelming deck. Here's the Academy Drake that I was talking about as sometimes outclassing the Cloud Reader Sphinx. We'll just take it. Yargle is funny and large, but generally not good alone. It's got that problem of, I mean, yeah, you can name a lot of things that make this good, but the fact that it's not very good on its own means that while you can make it good, you're doing the thing where you're still running a bad card that needs help to be good, and you'd much rather run cards that are inherently good and get better in synergy. And I'm going to take a card like Drake in this spot and just take the solid goodness of the flexibility of this card. Cabal Evangel or Relic Runner could be, I guess we have to type 2-drops to make sure we don't get completely run over. Mammoth Spider, probably the best card in the pack. Oh, actually, Blessed Light is here and actually worth taking. This is the type of card that's worth splashing for in these types of decks where we're looking to be card draw and removal, long game control. And yes, I do want to make sure I'm not just getting that my 2 spot isn't empty. But I don't need to prioritize that here over hedging towards possibility of splashing a Blessed Light. Hard to splash outside of green, though. We're looking for especially Skitters, if we can get one of those early, or a lucky dual land or something. But mainly green is what helps you be 3-color in this format. It's not super easy to splash unless you get multiple Skittles. Academy Drake, number 2 over Dark Bargain, number 2. If we're going to be in blue, I'm going to figure we'll get a chance maybe to divination at some point along the way here, and I'd rather have that first divination over a second Dark Bargain. And flying is really good in the format. 3 of these is a lot. I'd rather have another Cloud Reader Sphinx, but I'm going to keep taking the color. I'm going to keep blocking out blue-black here, try to cut it. I'm at least happy that, like, yeah, this is still in the pack. There wasn't much else blue in this pack that I remember. Not that Deep Freeze is particularly great removal here, but that it's still here at all is at least a sign that we may be in the right place color-wise. Divest, I have said, I am willing to play this. If we don't get the more useful, just like even 2/2 for 2, Divest can be an answer to how am I going to not get run over by small red creatures early. If that's the answer of why you're running it, I think you can choose to run it, but you're not happy about it. I'd rather just stuff a couple of these, pick something like this up really late, drop 1 or 2 of them in, along with hope. Like Evangel is what you get, pick 11, and you accept that. What we're looking for to really shore up the early defense is the Vicious Offering, -2, or -5 if you sacrifice a creature. Love having those early, and even the not quite as exciting as Vicious Offering, but acceptable if you can't find that early removal, is the -1/1 and create a Sapperling. Here this is what I'm talking about. This is what they did right. Like you leave a draft within Bolus's clutches and you feel like you've left with a bomb, because you have. This is a bomb. It's uncommon, and it just helps more players at the table feel like they left the draft with sweet cards. And if you have a perfectly balanced limited format in which everybody leaves with decks that have a power level of 6, and a perfectly balanced limited format in which people leave with decks that feel like a 9. They're even though it's fair in both cases, people are going to feel better about the 9 format because they're feeling like they're leaving with better cards. This is an abundance of goodies for us. We're just going to take the pretty simple manipulator. Here's that divination I was hoping for. Here's a soul salvage that I love as a. This is a divination, a late game divination that draws you action. And Yawgmoth's Vile Offering is interesting. These legendary sources are a bit of a trap, but you can pull them off. You just got to be realistic. If I'm going to do Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, not only do I want to have some multiple legends to rely on, but I want ways to like bring them back so that I effectively get free extra copies of legends from the ones that I do manage to play. But I am going to take Manipulator here. It's straightforwardly awesome. Here's the Vicious Offering I was talking about, and we're going to take that over the Eviscerate. Eviscerate is cleaner, destroy anything removal, but we have Clutches and Eviscerate already, and a Blessed Light we may end up splashing. So far, we're not gonna. Anyway, we have the some top end removal already shoring up, and Vicious Offering is exactly what I'm looking for to not lose to Run Amok. Icy Manipulator doesn't hurt with that either. Although if they can attack with something, they can run amok it. There's a lot of saps making the way around here. I mean, our blue isn't that amazing outside of the Clutches. You know I love a Sphinx. I mean, I'm just looking because the best cards here are green. And I'm not... and white's okay, too. I just don't know if I'm taking a Relic Runner here or giving myself a chance to potentially end up in green somehow. Or if I just take cards in my color to continue to send the message that this is me, you can be this. Almost though, cutting Saprolings is like cutting black, you know. I just don't like I don't like that Relic Runner enough to take, so I just kind of hate drafted there. Skin Witch is incredible, but Knight of Malice is also... This is obviously... This you can only cast as a 2, and as a 2, it's way better than Skin Witch, but Skin Witch has that turn 6 blowout potential. Whisper... I really like this in Saproling decks, where you have expendables to give up. But you can play this in just about any deck because there are often such great cards in your graveyard that you're willing to give up your, Deathbloom Thallid and the Whisper itself to get something great. But I'm going to take the, as you see here, the Knight of Malice. That can come down on 2 and be a real problem, even just with the first strike, much less the hexproof from white. Another Academy Drake. I certainly like it over Scholar, number 1, Paladin, or the Sage is not really useful. So yeah, taking another one. I don't know if we're playing 4. It seems excessive, but I don't need any of those other cards. The Coldwater Snapper flying aura is totally legit, but I tend to turn to it as the way I win when I don't have something like In Bolas's Clutches and Endless Academy Drakes. So I'm going to go with the Dark Bargain since we haven't picked up that first divination. Befuddle is another way to stop from losing early to aggro red without hurting yourself too badly. So we can take a Befuddle here. If we had a solid splash ready, I might take the Reproach even, but we'll take a Befuddle. We just have the Blessed Light, but no way to cast it besides throwing a bunch of planes we don't want in the deck right now. Oh, did I? Oh, hey, look at this. Are we taking the Divination or the Soul Salvage, though? I think I'll... Oh, I'm taking the Soul Salvage. that was a very tough choice for me, and I kind of made it there. The reason I decided to take it is because of the double Dark Bargain, which are a Poor Mage's Divination. These do the divination job, and nothing we have does the let me get the pack 3 pick 1 absolute bomb I'm going to open back. Like when we open the thing that makes 10 tutus or whatever, you know, or Lyra. Like when we force our way into white so we can play this Lyra, and now we can get it back with Soul Salvage. So yeah, and there's nothing else to take. Like we take a Journey Mage or an Abomination or a Sentinel. Like there's nothing. It's double white. Yeah, I don't. You all are saying I did something. Like I don't think I enabled the. Hey, if there's something working, great. But it was nothing new. I haven't done any. I haven't even listened to my listen up suggestions. I mean, we're taking Lyra. I don't know how. Like, we need some help here, and time is running out to get there. Unless we just want to cut. Like, we end up deciding that white can beat one of the other colors. I mean, certainly there's nothing. Well, I guess there's Blink here. We take a Blink. Desperation, protection against early aggression, and just mid-game tread water until you take over the late game. So, I don't know if we're playing Lyra yet. I don't like it yet. We don't have the tools. Besides the intent to make the game last forever. Omnivore, another Journey Mage. It's not really an Omnivore deck. Maybe it is just another Journey Mage. Normally, sometimes any deck's an Omnivore deck, I suppose. It can be a legit threat to win, but you really do need some density of spare critters to make this the real threat you want it to be. So I'm just going to take the Journey Mage. Not seeing anything like a Skitters or anything. Memorial, we've got the card draw covered, so I'm going to take more removal here. We'll take some Exile removal, which can help. We picked up a Soul Salvage somewhat controversially, but we have one, so we'll take more removal. Splash the black. I'm still thinking the black overall is more solid, but maybe we could. No. I'm still going to take the Settle. I just think our density there is that much better. I'm going to take all these Journey Mages, though. This Memorial is also tempting. Again, we have the Soul Salvage. Bouncy, 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 bouncy. I have to play it. I have to play it. We can play this Pure Blood to get a big flyer. We can play an Arcanist to make these Journey Mages cheaper. Take a Trickster. Trickster does some mean work. This is kind of... I mean, we've got 4/4 flyers for 7 already. We got 4 of them, and it doesn't really do anything else for us. So I'm going to take the Trickster. It's a wizard as well, actually, so that's good for the Journey Mages also. Another Befuddle. Yeah, I'll take it over the Even Sentry. Caligo Skin Witch over the Thallid? Or another Thallid? I guess Skin Witch... As also that Desperation 2 roll is not the worst, and of course we love it at 6. And it's not like we have a bunch going on at 6 either. We have, I guess, Academy Drakes at 7 is the way to think of it. Familiar gonna make anything cheap enough? I'll take it because it's the only consideration. I don't really see that regeneration skeleton. And Explorer is really never gonna make the cut here. I'm going to take Vault Progress. Unwind. Not unplayable, but super not exciting. But in this format, it's often a battle of spells. Take a Sentry. We easily could have ended up white blue, I think, had just a Skies deck. I'm taking Abomination as a possible. I certainly don't need all these unwinds, so might as well have a 6-drop option. But again, really, we don't need 6s because we have 4 7s if we want them. Ultimately, only 5 cuts to make. And actually, when we cut the white, make it 3. And we are. Sorry, Lyra. I really wanted to try to find a way, but I'm not playing either. I don't need the Blessed Light, and double white is too oppressive. If it was single white, I would do it. I would play a couple of planes because that would be so dominating to have this set of stats and some reanimation, but I don't think it makes sense to take that risk here. 14, 12. I think we can cut the Relic Runner. I'm going to keep the Evangel. We have just enough going on in the 2 slot that I feel like we have some tools to not lose to aggro. I think we can cut Deep Freeze as not being the removal we're looking for when we have... here, let me get into deck building too. Take a look at it in this view. We can cut one of these Drakes. I think 3 Drakes is okay. One of the Befuddles could go. Yeah, I like cutting a Befuddle and keeping, if we're going to do something on randomly on 3. Like, the nice thing about an Academy Drake on 3 is that you don't need any context to be able to spend 3 mana on a 2/2 flyer. Whereas Befuddle on 3, you need there to be a creature, and hopefully it's attacking you, and, yeah, do I keep the 17 like you would go to 16? This format is pretty mana hungry. If anything, you want to go to 18 in this format, but I think we can get away with 17 given the best of 1 hand smoothing and the card draw we have. So that's what I'm thinking here. We're going to pop this back down. The Academy Drake makes me think of Strixhaven. We got to make some kind of Strixhaven joke. How about Wrong Academy? Wrong School? Wrong Campus? Yeah, Preschool is good. We'll do Preschool. Because the set came out before Strixhaven. Seems fine. A lot of ways to win, a lot of just baseline value. We never did find that Divination, but Double Dark Bargain is going to fill in that role. Get to 5 and just start looping in Journey Mages and till we clutch their bomb and win with that. Sounds good. Check, see if there's any... No, I should... Go to my faves. It was pack 3, pick 1. We took it hoping we could find a Skitters to justify it, but yeah. And also, there was nothing for us in pack 3, pick 1. I wish there had been just a second Bolus's Clutches or something like that, and I would have passed Lyra to some lucky white drafter. Hop in here. So I'll give you a quick court update. There's not that much to update you. Our worst juror, our troubled juror, has been behaving herself and not disrupting the court in any way, shape, or form. If anything's been scaring me these days, it's my wife's trial. She's on jury duty as well, for those of you who didn't hear that little nugget. Yes, we have the couple that weighs together, stays together. Get it? I don't know. So her trial is already in, I'm going to keep this, no blue yet, but we've got tools. Her trial's already in deliberation, and it's clearly causing her a lot of consternation and is a tough trial of some kind. But they've got a juror who is like deliberation trouble. She's not really taking the court's instructions. It's kind of like she's a yeah butter. Yeah, but I don't care what you're telling me about the rules that we're supposed to abide by here. I personally believe this other thing or whatever, and there's a lot of immovable objects, it seems, on her. And so she's been deliberating since Thursday. And on Thursday, going into deliberation, not knowing what her fellow jurors were thinking about things, she was thinking and hoping they might be done last Thursday. As it is, she's going back tomorrow and is not super happy about it and is saying that a lot of the... that stuff doesn't necessarily make itself apparent in those times where they're supposed to be removed because of that kind of stuff. They don't understand, they're not sussed out as that type of thinker. And then I don't know what the rule, ultimately she made it through this part of the process and she's going to be part of that jury. That's but it sounds like a recipe for, or at least a hung jury, if not a mistrial. It doesn't feel like they're getting anywhere with her. So it's between my wife's experience and mine, my general feelings, I can't believe justice is done at all. Like, it's just can be so upended by any one random individual, and the jury needs 12. Like, how about we reduce the jury to a jury of like 6 peers? Like, oh my goodness. Speaking of oh my goodness, we cannot find ourselves a blue source, but we're holding our own with the cards we've got. We can play a Thallid here and still manipulate. Manipulator, it's old school icy manipulator, so you can absolutely pin down their only source of blue and try to get them that way. But in general, I just favor using it as removal, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'm not sure if anybody disagrees and would go ahead and tap that island to try and deny them a main phase color. One problem with it is this, that they can often just play, in this case, not an island, but they can play an island and have that source anyway. It would prevent this play right here. We'll go ahead and tap the... Well, I can't block flyer anyway. We'll tap this ground thing. Hey, some blue for us. I kind of, as much as I'm happy to have some blue mana, I like having the manipulator mana. So for now, I'm actually just going to play the Thallid and tap down the Phoenix, have the blink of an eye up, and just try to ride this out until we're making 4/4s and drawing some extra cards. So now, this is kind of the chaining that I was hoping to do with all of my Journey Mages. But now we have a Vicious Offering we can use. So even though, I guess, well, that means I can't use the Manipulator. I think we let this is obviously going to happen, but I'm going to Vicious Offering the Journey Mage rather than just manipulate it. But this is the thing that Journey Mages can do. You get a million Journey Mages, you can just never let them do a thing again. Wow. I mean, in a sense, it's a very similar result. But we're low on mana, and that's the problem now. So, actually, I'm just going to use Eviscerate on this and tap another one and not give them a target. They can play Journey Mage for no bounce if they want. We'll let them do that. It's a frustrating amount of bounce to face, but we're not dead yet, as we say.
Your friend here is only mostly dead.
Oh, come on, deck. We do need some mana, though. Okay? That's annoying. I just feel like... Yeah, but let them bounce our mage and then we go to 1? Like, that's not... I mean, that's not a plan, right? I really would just wish we had a 2-drop. If we had a 2-drop... Well, no, if I play this mage, it uses literally all of our mana. We can't manipulate anything. Well, it does. I mean, play a 3-drop, let them bounce. It doesn't matter which one we play. They're going to bounce whatever we play. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way to accomplish 2 things. And really the only way to accomplish 2 things here is a 3-drop and a blink of an eye. And yeah, I can't really take the 2 damage from the bargain very successfully either. So, yeah, Drake, Thallid, it doesn't really matter where... Oh, no, it does matter, because I want to have the blink mana just in case. Yeah, blink is a waste compared to Icy. Vicious Offering wasn't because it killed the thing. But at least we have blink available here. And then if we draw a land, maybe we're not completely dead, but we just couldn't handle 7 million Journey Mages. We can't draw off blink, we don't have the blue. Yeah, we have Blink Creature Icy. Looks like that's about our only hope. I guess we want a Drake to trade off in the air. And then... actually, we want to trade off on the ground, because we want to trade with the Journey Mage and not bounce it. So let's play the 3-2 that we're happy to trade with. And then we can bounce like the Scholar and tap the Phoenix. They're just going to play Journey Mage number 7 and we lose. That's what I feel. That's how it feels like this is going. But not dead yet. Only mostly dead. That is not a trade, but we are still in the same state of not deadness. Better would be to trade off, but this is not a bad second place if you told me, but your opponent has removal. I would accept this. Could make a case for going to 1 here, but we need to spend all our mana is the thing. Trouble is they can just replay it, but if they have another 3-drop in hand, at least it's... Alright, well, it cost him a spell. But that's kind of sicko. What is this with Oppo and these perfect frickin' bad cards? Oppo with the perfect bad cards. You gotta hate perfect bad cards. This is something you go to 1 card for, though, right? Or go to tap out for. So we can steal... Kind of want to steal the Scholar, because if they do something to return a creature to their hand, we don't want them to return the Journey Mage, even though the Journey Mage is... oh yeah, I can't steal because they're all tapped. No, never mind. So we're going to go 2 Drakes, right? Or Drake. We can go Journey Mage on Scholar and tap. Let's just do that. That works. Sorry, gang. Thanks for calling that out. I hopefully would have figured that out before I cast it, but... was thinking like it untapped or something. It's not that good, Ryan. And yeah, gotta bounce the thing that does not have haste, so they can't just recast and attack. Uncastable Dark Bargain, like not ever. I don't think we have life gain. If we maybe we need to steal something of theirs that gains life in red blue. I don't know. Hey, look who's chaining Journey Mages now. Do we even want to do ours as opposed to just like dropping a 2/2 Drake and having the tap up? Because I'm really not enamored with bouncing haste. I mean, yeah, they have to recast it, but it has haste. It's just going to do its thing again. So I actually like taking a turn off for a unkicked Drake. Threaten the Phoenix in the air and have a tap, or even just let him attack. Yeah, we can just start icying the Phoenix. In any case, Drake, hold icy, don't drop the Journey Mage. Let's find something that we're happier to make him respend. Do we attack? I mean, I gotta win sometime, but I'm feeling a little like that's not correct. That's gonna just be GG. Yeah, I think that's game. We don't have counter in the deck. So we'll make them pick the right thing, but they just pick their burn and we're done. Well, a little frustrating. Stumbled just enough on mana in the mid game to not be able to keep up with Oppo in time. Yeah, Blue-Red Wizards is a good deck. I don't know, that didn't seem to have an early game, but they chained together enough bounce to make it work. They might just not have drawn their perfectly solid early game as well, but we didn't see it there. Yeah, the Blue-Red Wizards deck absolutely has one. White aggro, mono-red aggro. They're not good. They're not the best decks, but can you play cheap low-down creatures and combat tricks and apply pressure before go-long decks get their footing? Yes. It just tends, in my experience, not to be as powerful a strategy as just being the go-long deck. Good games, JM. That was tough. What did you have for your early game? Your mid game crushed me with all the repeated Journey Mages. Oh, so I was just kind of talking to Jim, but I should have played Knight of Malice. Although if they kill it, I'd rather have them kill the Evangel. Just gonna max the mana here. I'm not using Eviscerate on a Deathbloom Thallid, but I will trade the Evangel for it and drop him to a 1/1 and then play our Knight. Yeah, we get Soul Salvage. I'd rather just get the Knight down, though. We can Soul Salvage next turn and even replay the 2-drop, or... So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and do a Soul Salvage. It's not the sexiest Soul Salvage of all time, but it is a 2-for-1, and we can follow with the Evangel that then offers a trade for the Mesa Unicorn, which in turn clears an attack with the Knight of Malice. And we're one land draw away from being able to kick our Drake to a 4/4. Sarah's why we try to hold our removal. And there's our kick for the Drake as well. Yeah, Unicorn is one of the things that can make the aggro pretty good, although the problem with Unicorn and Lifelinkers as your aggro card is like if you're up against a long game grind out control deck, they don't really care about your life total. So yeah, go ahead, Mesa Unicorn yourself up to 40 before I control the game and still easily kill you from 40, right? Oh, here's where we get land, kick Skin Witch, and lose our Drake. Bye, Drake. I feel like whenever I'm at 2 cards and my opponent is playing Swamps and is at 5 land, that's what happens. All right, we're going to at least trade for Unicorn or Trick. See what they've got. Could be Trick. This white-black tends to be doing that kind of thing. Clutches is clutch, but we're going to start with the kicked Drake, and maybe they'll play something even better next turn. I should have attacked first. A little impatient there. Gonna swing away, though. If they put everything on, I can still first strike my way to not losing my knight. Just had to do the... If they block with everything, what happens? Oh, I kill Unicorn, I kill Sapperling, and 1 leftover is not enough. I was right. They just didn't have the 6 mana. I get credit for calling this. That was the clearly Oppo's plan. We just lucked out. That is what happened there. Now I like Steel Courser and go over. Yeah, I think that's time. It's time to steal the Courser. Still have a good attack with Knight of Malice. What was close? All right, that time our bomb came through. Our uncommon bomb. Yeah, Blood Gaze. It's got a line of text that I like as far as hexproof goes. They're done with that. Hexproof on permanent seems like it's going to be gone now of any kind, replaced with ward. But I still expect we'll see hexproof on spells to granting temporary hexproof via spells still seems way on the table for wizards for sure. Of course, the flavor problem with the original White Knight and Black Knight is that they never interacted. You can never have the White Knight fight the Black Knight. It was impossible. Yeah, hexproof from a color was a fine solution, Siriana, but it just seems like they decided that ward was better. No second blue for the Trickster, but we'll keep... Trickster is surprisingly potent. You can, bringing flyers down to earth to be eaten on the ground is a big play with Trickster. We can't cast it yet. We're going to keep, and we at least have the Evangel and some card draw with any land. And now we got a 3-drop. So just a land by 4 of any kind would be nice, Magic Gods. Yeah, I agree that Hexproof was not doing its job. Hexproof was super annoying and needed something different. It was too hard to make creatures with Hexproof that were appealing without being busted. Fungal Infection is a, like I said, qualifies as removal. What we can do here is Trickster the blocker, and then we've basically countered their infection with a 2/2. Well, we could blink. I'd rather just trick. I'm going to go full control in case I need to. But blink kills it. I would just rather draw off of blink. Still have the same amount of power on board as well. Doesn't fly, but at least we added 2. This attack with blink ready is nice, and actually just passing the turn with blink ready and bargain if there's nothing blinkable, also nice. That's why these are a nice little pair. And one of the advantages Dark Bargain has over Divination is how it works with instants like blink. And I could play the Drake, but at this point we just want to bargain our way up to 7 and actually kick it. Time of Ice. Annoying in a tempo deck that is attacking you. This is going to slow us down a little, but I'm not super worried about Time of Ice in this context. We'll go ahead and bargain here rather than blink. Journey Mage is fine. I like 1 land and a Journey Mage. That's a fine result. Effectively super close to the kick to Drake and gives us something to do this turn. And if they want to tap the Journey Mage and give it back to us, by all means. So like the Evangel is the only thing that doesn't give us some value on the way back down at least. And here we get to kill a token. That's not nothing. I mean, they might not even choose to hit the Journey Mage because of the rebounce. They may go Trickster, yeah. But I think we can just attack with the Journey Mage and get it back anyway. So they don't really get to choose if we have a clean attack, which Blink should provide. Antiquities War is... These are some tough sagas to get full value out of, but let's see what Oppo can do. And so I could hold Journey Mage back and not have it bounced. But I think I'm going to send. I'm going to take the damage, and I'll happily take the Journey Mage. And I'm going to leave all of this. We have Blink plus Trickster. Even get to do it all if we, We can kick a Blink and cast the Trickster before we oh, no, I can't. Never mind. That's too much blue. Can't do that. I am a big liar. Too much blue. Yeah, the artifacts you control become artifact creatures. That's coming up. At that point, we can try and save the Blink for that. If they put any artifacts we care about. Right now, it doesn't do anything. So if they find a land, they can go Familiar Servant and have a couple of soon-to-be 5/5s. But that's not the worst. We can... Oops, that's on me, sorry. We can just blink one before we untap. Tap the other one when it becomes a 5/5 and tries to get us. kick Blink the Familia. Another 4/4 flyer. Can never have too many of those. And I'll just go Trickster, tap it, Journey Mage it away. That's fine. Or we just make a Drake right now. Say whatever. Congrats on your 5/5. Here's my 4/4. But then we have a 3/3. Could also just go no, it's not a wizard. That's why I was thinking I need to cast this, because then it makes the Journey Mage castable. Oh, but it is anyway, isn't it? Oh yeah, it is anyway. So I could go Evangel. Yeah, I'll just go Evangel Journey Mage, and then we save the Trickster. I like that. This actually puts 5 power on board instead of the 4 that the Drake would anyway. Might even cast this on offense. They're at 10. Like removal tap right there. Are they going to kill the Journey Mage maybe? Well, I'm just going to... Alright, during the draft I was talking about the very matchup we're going to create, the old 4/4 Drake versus the 3/4 Cloud Reader. They're splitting top to bottom. Probably means maybe there's removal lurking there. Skin Witch on the kick seems pretty brutal, but we may have time to do that next turn for their whole hand, and we can this turn kick a Drake. Let's see, what do we got? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana total. We could even go Skin Witch, Trickster. Kick the Skin Witch, still have Trickster. I'm going to wait. Their cards in hand aren't very good. Maybe they'll dump Joyra and the Servant and leave something good, but I don't know. Are these going to be any better? So then let's just, let's just make a big Drake then. Give him one more turn to think about things. Hey Mantuka, welcome. Strong effect. It's going to get 2 of our creatures, but it's a testament to our hand that I'm still not super worried. But obviously that was a good play from Oppo. Value Town. I'm just kind of sad because they have an easy discard in the Voltaic Servant. It's not very good here. But I also do want to get that down, and we'll Trickster on defense here. They know it's coming, but we get to Trickster down the Sphinx, and then they have no good attacks on the ground. The Exile was the toughest part of that spell. Imagine if they had simply doubled Eviscerate and both of these were in the graveyard. We'd be totally fine. As it is, a little tight. We have nothing for the Soul Salvage right now, and it becomes instead our backup plan in case of the death of these things, instead of our front foot plan getting back the stuff Oppo dealt with. All right, we are on my turn, right, though? All right. No attacks. feel like we blew out their Antiquities War. And there's Whisper. Like I said, Whisper doesn't need the old saps if you have stuff worth going to get. But we are going to go ahead. They know about it anyway, although it's too bad we don't have enough on the ground to bring it into our waiting arms, because that's what I love to do, is bring flyers down out of the air. But in this case, we'll just prevent some damage. Befuddle could actually do some work after we get this Drake down. He said, presuming to get the Drake down. Well, good news. We got something to soul salvage. Boy, what happened? I was feeling pretty good. Now I'm feeling pretty bad. There's our own Cloud Reader. Is the Icy just going to make us dead here? 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess we play Cloud Reader and try to befuddle our way into something. The Scry here is not going to suck. Maybe he can give us a density in the air to get through. Yeah, there we go. All that's pretty good. If we draw the Offering, we can sack the Skin Witch to kill their flyers. I think we want that first, and then just a backup flyer is nice. But we're going to keep both of these. Probably befuddle to save some damage, depending on attacking outcomes and how they manipulate and all that stuff. Sacking a creature to the Vicious Offering does give us another soul salvage, so we can re-kick the Skin Witch, or we can just get the Trickster back and reuse the Trickster's ability. We'll see. That's their only choice. I am going to go ahead and befuddle it, keep the card flow going. Can even Academy Drake and Vicious Offering here, but let's make him tap down our Sphinx first. More counter magic. Every Oppo's had everything they need. Actually, we do have one win, right? We cleaned up one Oppo pretty quick. And I guess if they... Well, wasn't a syncopate. They could have syncopated that, and they would have. I'm just trying to figure out what the... Oh, it's probably just Whisper explains the pause. I guess I'll Vicious Offering and Upkeep. Sacking the Witch, which kind of forces him to, well, we don't force him to do anything until we soul salvage. I'll sack the Trickster. No, that's the thing. They don't really have the great... This is the Great Whisper target. So if they want to sack Cloud Reader and their Arcanist, they can upgrade their Arcanist, sure. But it's not that big a deal. They can get the flyer out of that or something. They're checking that now. Probably worth upgrading to the 2/2 artifact flyer, but it's not a huge deal. And that's what they've done. Also, you know, made Whisper tap on their turn at least, so they couldn't do a second move to bring back Cloud Reader Sphinx this turn. Now we could settle the score even and exile Whisper so that they can't bring back one of their flyers. I like that, but we're going to start with an attack. Yeah, they could have sacked the Master Wizard with the intent to rebuy. You think Naru's a better target? I mean, right now it's just a 3/3 Wizard Lord. Whisper is the thing that brings back something that can actually mess with us in the air. Because they could sack Whisper and Naru to bring back a second flyer, double block one flyer, and icy the other, and then we no longer have the air dominance. On that front, I could just settle Joyra, but then Sphinx bounces off Sphinx. My thinking, although we could also just start with a Soul Salvage at 9, can't re-kick the Drake, and maybe they kill another flyer and we get 2 huge flyers back. Yeah, I'm going to go with my gut here and get rid of the Whisper. I could Soul Salvage just to max mana this turn. That's probably worth it. I am going to do that too. I was going to wait and see if they kill one of our flyers, but we get an Academy Drake back, which is another huge flyer, and the Trickster's no joke for getting damage through at this point. We can even cast both of these. We can kick this and clear blockers with Trickster. Yeah, auto tap got me. That's true. I intended to play it for offense next turn anyway, though. But yeah, I shouldn't have let that happen. Whenever you're casting reanimation spells, that's when you gotta watch the auto tapper, because the auto tapper does not know what you're bringing back. So reanimators, that should be a red flag on that whole thing. And yeah, Oppo saw what I could do, which I was just about to do, which is tap the 3/3 and swing away, and then we get him. Yeah, cheapeners. Reanimator certainly not the only one, but reanimators 100% definitely need to be considered. Or reanimation tends to imply return to battlefield. What I mean, of course, is return to hand, you know, soul salvaging. What do we call it? You call it raised deading, but then they decided... It's funny, M10 had a lot of cards change names because the original names didn't quite capture the spirit of the effect, and Raised Dead was one of those. Because the feeling of Raised Dead is the creatures coming out of the grave and onto the battlefield, whereas it goes to hand. So they've tried to try that. They've tried to call that something else. Yeah, thanks all. That was a good comeback. We held on and found ways to not die until we could win. Well, this looks familiar. This is like practically already a mulligan for this hand. Skin Witch we'd be happy with here if Oppo was playing aggressive 1 toughness aggro. I don't think this is keepable. I'm going to mulligan it. Fenner says it seems fine. I don't think it does enough soon enough. I'm going to mull. Well, this is worse, but I'm going to keep, at least with Dark Bargain. Maybe we can rebuild on 4. And what do we pitch? Our best card is also the farthest off. I can't remember what. We don't have anything that like shuffles our library. We have some stuff that maybe puts it on the bottom. Yeah, I guess we can let go Befuddle. Although, honestly, if we're going to let go Befuddle, maybe we just want to let go Blink. Blink is a ways from drawing, and Befuddle and Blink do similar stuff. And this, if we draw an island, at least we do draw. We like get a card back out of it. So I'm going to do this. Well, take our Journey Mage and know about our clutches. I don't think that was a greedy mulligan. I think it would have been a greedy keep. Obviously, we just disagree on that. I don't know why you like that hand. It didn't do anything. I mean, congrats on your turn 4 Eviscerate. Kind of drawn back out of this. Dark Bargain will help us recover some of our cards, but I'm going to continue to put threats on the board. I guess I could wait. Maybe I could do just Dark Bargain here. Are we already trying to get up to 7 on this? I think I'm going to try and get up to 7. We've already kind of survived the early game. So let's try and make it to our late game. It's always scary. This card isn't very good because of how clunky it is, but against a deck doing as slow work as us, this can be fine. Can be combo-rific too. You can find there's some combos for this. You know, you can get your Soul Salvage and your Bomb. You know. I don't know what they're going to do knowing about our clutches. It's interesting. Soul Salvage. Yeah, actually, that's worth keeping. We can actually cast that. I kind of want all of this, but I'm going to keep the non-lands and be a little greedy on that front here. I want both of these. And actually, I'll just play the Drake right now. Although, having a Journey Mage ready for whatever they do could be pretty good. Yeah, let's just Soul Salvage. Because maybe we find our land, we Journey Mage next turn, and then we do find our Drake mana. I don't know. See, it's all fine. Hey, Atomic Dive, good game. It was a tough one. Right up against the edge there. So, one pesky land from the clutches. I know I chose to put this one in the graveyard, but I did like what we got to keep out of that. Befuddle doesn't do what we want here. Probably just Thallid offering now even an attack. I mean, I can wait. I can try to Clutches the Angel. Maybe we could wait and Clutches the Angel and just do... But what are we doing this turn if we don't do that? I just really like that as this turn. You don't want to... You don't want to wait. Yeah, I guess we can play a Drake and then we're not... yeah, we're holding offering up at that point. I guess we can give it one more turn, sure, because it would be nice to bolus a 4/4. If this were a 3/3, we could attack and just shrink this down to 1/1 and get them, but it would still be a 2-for-1 in that case. Making it 2/2. Interesting. I mean, they know we've got the clutches. I guess they're just hoping we don't find our way out of it. Well, now I could... I mean... I feel like I'm supposed to kill one of these now in hopes that we get the other one. And what's more valuable, the Drake or the Journey Mage? You think Journey Mage is more valuable? Yeah, I guess that's fine. They're very similar to me. Vigilant would be nice, but that was the one attacking us, so I killed it. I guess, you know, I could have... You're right, I could have taken that one instead. That's a reasonable point. Yeah, sorry, I was thinking I had to take the one that was attacking, but I didn't. I didn't have to do that. I'm gonna go... kind of just like befuddle to try and draw a land here. Trouble is, we draw a land. All we want to do is clutches next turn anyway, so never mind. I'm going to just play this and pass. Frankly, if we get a land next turn, we're probably just kicking Skinwitch. No such luck. Now, though, we have a... Wow, they're not attacking us either? I'll do it. Do we have anything we might want to cast? I guess we might find... What's a 2-drop we might find? Like a Knight of Malice? Or if we find a Knight of Malice, we would cast that. I think I'll do it this way. Hey, if we don't keep a land, it'll be incredible, because it'll mean we have drawn such gasoline. As it is, I'm going to keep 2 lands here, I think. We don't need an Evangel, do we? And we have the second land for the Drakes. So, yep. A lot of times people prepare for unknown Bolus's clutches with something like an Academy Journey Mage of their own. Now they don't have blue here. I'm just trying to think if they have a plan for this, and if so, how can we thwart it? They found their red splash, which would have been another reason to kill that instead of the Sarah. But it growing bigger is not the worst for us either. But now if we let them untap, they get to ping the Thalid. I'm going to make him have something for the clutches. I feel like they do. It's very weird for somebody to play into the clutches like this. So that's kind of why I'm thinking, why I was tempted to try for the Skinwitch play, but I don't want to give them the Thalid value, and they have 4 cards to choose from on a discard anyway. Yeah, light, great call. Yeah, I just felt like it just felt like they were ready, right? That doesn't surprise me at all. I'm not really mad. Because when your opponent shows a turn 1 divest and they reveal your clutches, and then they play 2 bomb creatures into it, you figure that they've got something there. Now we are going to die unless we don't have enough mana for that. So we got to Befuddle and Drake. I guess we can Drake and they don't have the mana to get through it, but then we're on a chump situation. I'd rather Befuddle and try to find removal. Trouble is we go to 2 because they can make this a 7/7 by killing the sap. Well, this deals 2 damage to target creature, and they've got 1 red source. And the Drake would be a 4/4. That's why. I think it's correct to prevent damage via Befuddle. Yeah, I mean, well, what's the plan? You would play this as a 2/2 for what, to what end? Right on, Pablo. Thanks for hanging. We got a couple of the 4s. We got an Eviscerate and a Settle the Score. And an Icy Manipulator that could at least lock it down. Blink of an eye could send it back to hand, and maybe we kick the Skin Witch. Yeah, that's the thing. Well, they're not equally bad. The 2/2 can literally be killed out from under us. The 4/4 can't. I would say they are not equally bad. Plan A, we're dead. Plan B, we live. So now kicked Drake Chump gives us another turn to find hard removal. Oh boy. Hat's line would have made this so much closer, right? I'm not sure how we'd be doing just against the Naked Sarah, but we'd be okay, right? So really, I punted this one away. If I had killed the more important creature, although it's ironic because Hat wanted it so that we had the thing that had vigilance, which is fair, but really what we wanted was to not let them have the eventual potential to start activating that vampire. All right. Well, that was one of those that might have been a win with some better play. Hard to say, but we'd have a better chance for sure. The difference-making mistakes, the record-changing mistakes. Oh, I've had those kind of pure blood games. That's just because I've drafted this format so much, but definitely I've had that vampire go absolutely bonkers late in the game against Saps or whatever. Hey, Hobo, good game. I screwed up. I had the chance to kill your vampire instead of the angel and made the wrong choice, and that cost us. Keep this. Play out an island in case we draw another, for some reason, want a trickster. You never know, maybe they have a 1/2 they are going to attack with or something. Although we probably just play it as a 2-drop on 2. And I'll go ahead and offer this. It's a little hasty. Actually, I should. Do I need to do this? I mean, we can go towards a curve out here, which is appealing. We can go Academy Drake, potentially Trickster, and make a cheap Journey Mage. If this is fixing them, I just don't want to use my removal too early if there are alternatives, but I think it's worth it here. I mean, it lets us spend mana on 2. I try hard not to play this card. It only presents value if you have extra lands to begin with. I like the dream of this card is play it on 2, on turn 3, activate it, and like on turn 4, activate it, and have 6 mana on turn 4. I don't think I've ever seen it. Agreed. With the Trickster and the Journey Mage doing bouncing and tapping, we're just going to, and with the Sphinx for sure next turn. After this, we're going to keep making an Air Force and just try to get there with a quick Air Force. I suppose Tatyova makes this terrible card a consideration, but even then, it's just so bad without her that I question that. But yeah. Bad cards with incredible synergy with one of your bombs are interestingly positioned cards for sure. Are they worth it over generic replacement? You expect board wipe or planeswalker? I don't know, maybe. There's the only board wipe in the set, as far as I know, is the white one that requires a legend. Some people just play that card, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go Sphinx here. But yeah, what wipe? No, you're gonna have to call me. I think I know this set pretty well, and the only card I remember that you were supposed to be afraid of, or when the question of sweeper came up, the only thing that that's one of the things that gets mentioned about this set. You talk about sweepers, it's like, oh, it's only that legendary spell. Well, I sure like a blink of an eye, but not with a second island. So I'm going to send both of these away. Look for at least more blue, if not better action. Well, there's the Saga I designed, but it's hardly a legit sweeper. Well, there's our island. 6/6 is big. Trouble with bouncing Demon Lords is that they get extra cards, but at 13, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they're dead. So if we go Journey Mage it, they play it again for more value. Trickster it, we win. Let's try it. Phyrexian Scriptures, there you go. That's the one. Yes, that's legit. But the only sweeper this turn card is the white one, I think. Yeah, it's fair if you've got some synergy and you just need to not die. You know, I mean, I'm playing a 2/2 for 2 that with no abilities, so you can absolutely play the scout if it's going to do that job. Well, it cost him. Tutoring up Bells and Lock with the bounce in the format just let me tempo them out. That was a tempo win right there. All right. Nice to make it to 3 wins, really. In my I'm feeling, you know, I'm dead on my feet, gang. I'm happy to be here. It's really nice hanging out with y'all and playing some Magic, but I am pretty tired, so playing solid enough to sag my way to 3 wins already feels decent. By the way, I'm sorry about if I've overwhelmed you with the reruns the last couple of days. I've never done reruns before, And I was doing last week I was trying to do, there's a rerun queue you can make. And I was putting one thing in the rerun queue and doing the rerun. And then I saw you could add multiples. And what I thought adding multiples would do is that, oh, when I play a rerun, it will play the first one off the pile and then stop. I didn't know it was going to play the first one off the pile, then the second one off the pile, then the third one off the pile, then the fourth, and then just like play reruns all day. I didn't mean to do that the last couple days, so sorry about that. I'll get that under control. This is a keep. We don't have our third land yet, but a nice start if we can find a land in the next couple of draws. This looks great. Yeah, I guess I tend to lean towards islands because of the double blue, even though it's nowhere in sight and isn't super relevant right there. Oh, magic gods, give us a land off the top, please. Let us try and curve out with this sweet-looking draw, but it's not sweet till we get the land for it. It's a classic. So if I attack, they could just trade. Kind of a funny place to start. I guess I'll offer the trade. And then drop the Evangel. I mean, we're a little bit in trouble here with the lack of a land, so... Although maybe I wait, maybe I'll just play the Cabal Evangel, because if we do find another land, we might be able to befuddle our way into value. So let's just say no attacks, play the Evangel, and see if they want to attack into us. All right, land is what we needed. We can even befuddle such that the Evangel works. So I'm going to send the Knight of Malice, and we're going to try and eat a Knight of Grace. That would be sweet. I could also play a Deathbloom Thallid. Oh, no, actually I should, because they're just going to make the Knight fly. Never mind. I'll just build my board. Maybe we'll get some offensive befuddle going next turn. Yeah, that's interesting. Well, let's see if they go for any blocks here. I'd love to befuddle on blocks, but yeah, it looks like they're not. I could play the Academy Drake and try to threaten Aven Sentry with the Drake. It is vulnerable to removal in a way that Befuddle isn't. But at 9 to 13, we're not dead if they remove the Drake anyway, so I'm going to give the Drake a chance to work, and then we can try blinking for value if we find an island off the top. Get lucky that way. Feeling like the Drake is going to die here, though. That's my prediction. So a little Shivan Fire and it's toast. Maybe not. That was a long time to Shivan Fire that, but okay. We can get him to 1, but as we all know, 1 is not 0. However, we did get a second blue source. How do we not die? I guess we go to 1 by befuddling or blinking one of the flyers. And I'm going to go ahead and swing away here. Then none of these can really block anyway. See if they put the Courser on the 2-2. Probably. What I'm afraid of is they have pump beyond just, you know, like we even Sentry and they just run amok for the win. So we may just lose to run amok here. Be an unfortunate way to go out. We were pretty darn close, especially since we could have blinked to literally get them to 1. But nothing else to do. Guess the only thing would be like if we had the 1 mana black removal spell, we could try Befuddle and draw that. Just swing the 2/3/2s, but what does that do? You think that keeps them from? I mean, I don't know what that does. Oh, if you're Oppo, yeah, sure. I was thinking our 3/2s. That's what you meant, Fenrir. We'll see what they do here. They're going for it. Still pretty nervous about just a pump spell ending this. Make them have it. Uh-oh, the dreaded pause. I suppose I could wait for first strike. It's not going to matter, though, right? They have it or they don't, and they have it. Well, sucky. Stumbled a little bit, and that was enough. Well, there's a reason they had no fear, huh? Well, I said I was going to be happy about 3 wins. Honestly, I'm not that happy. I thought the deck was better than 3 wins. I think this is a pretty good deck. Let's see, what are the weak points here as far as Dominaria decks go? The Evangel was pretty weak. I would have taken a Vicious Offering over that, even another Blink. Some interaction that was just better at 2. The Befuddle, also a little bit weak. Maybe one of these Dark Bargains, if it had been a Divination, would have been a little better. But this is there's a little too many Drakes. Like there's some other variety rather than 4 Drakes. But ultimately, this was a pretty good deck for the format. I would be pretty happy going into battle with this most days. And it also speaks to the fact that although this can be a bomby format, I think it's really a popper format, again, in the sense that so many of the bombs are uncommon. Maybe this is ultimately kind of a rare power level card, but I have no rares in this deck, right? I'm not forgetting anything, am I? We really didn't open anything stupid. And we still had a highly functional deck that I would be happy to retake back into battle. I think this is... yeah, again, maybe a little too much on the Journey Mage side of town. We could, but this is a little tempo-y. It's kind of interesting that we had a tempo out. We could cast a bunch of Wind Drakes into Journey Mages as a possible way to win the games. So we graduated preschool with a C grade. All right, YouTube, that's what I got for you. Thanks for hanging out. Check out my sponsor. Give a like to the video. Give a chat comment or a comment in the comments, and we'll see you at the next one. Be Wednesday night. I'll be exhausted again, trying to find my way towards 7 wins with something else. See ya.